Welcome, everybody, to Barrier to Entry, the podcast where three jerks watch TV. My name is Noah. And we still haven't figured out who goes second, I guess.
It's the two brothers go first, and then the white
Okay,
dude goes third. It's like, this is how it goes, all right?
And I'm Sebastian.
And I'm Bobby.
And today we watched Chojin Sentai Jetman episodes 5 and 6. Before we get started, man, did I have a situation this last couple days editing these videos. First of all, I procrastinated editing last week's episode, like, this whole week. And so I just did it, like, yesterday, including making all the reels and stuff. And then I went and I had the upload scheduled, and I was like, oh, that's great. Like, I'm done now, and I can focus on the episode coming up and a different project. And then I went to double check it today, and there was like a one minor editing mistake. But if I had left it in, it was going to look really unprofessional. So right before we started recording and we watched all the episodes and stuff, I had to go in and fix all that. And now everything should be good. But
because we are professionals.
We are professionals. All three of us work equally on this podcast here.
And all of us definitely have some stay on the internet.
True.
We are professionals.
So true. Yeah, so like I said, we watched Chojin Sensei Jetman's episode 5 and 6. These are available on Tubi and Prime Video, I think, and some other places. The episodes in question are Fall For Me and then Get Angry Robo.
Wasn't it Robot?
I thought it was Raging. I thought it was Raging
Robot?
something.
Maybe? Okay.
That was the translation.
It says on the wiki it's Get... Yeah, it says on the wiki, Get Angry Robo.
That one's kind of better, to be honest. Kind of like
yeah, that one makes a little bit more sense compared to Raging Robo.
I don't think either of them really make sense for the episode, but yeah.
Nope.
One makes more sense than the other.
Yeah.
For sure. So let's dig right in, unless you guys have anything you want to say before we get into the recap.
I don't have anything.
All good.
Okay, fair. Episode 5, Fall For Me. So last week we were on a cliffhanger with the Jetman versus the Road Dimension. Kaori had crashed her jet machine. I thought when we came back in on this week, we would get the conclusion to that battle. This is not the case.
No.
It just cuts to them inside the base being like, Kaori failed, and that's why she can't walk.
Yeah, Kaori freaking paralyzed, bruh.
Hands over to her, like, on a bed, paralyzed. I was like, what is happening? Like,
nobody, like, I also said beforehand, I was like, that's not really that bad of a crash. Like, if you see like the clip of her actually like crashing down, it's bad, but it's not like, oh, she's gonna be paralyzed, and then it immediately cuts to her being paralyzed. Like,
well, and then they're like, she's only paralyzed because of trauma and shock.
Yeah, it was like, weird. They were like implying
it's gonna be one of these episodes.
Yeah, like it's like they were implying she couldn't walk for like a psychological reason. Like, I don't know if that's possible. Like, does that actually happen in real life?
That's how that works. No,
I'm sure it is on some level. You know, the human mind is like very like weird, but yeah, just like to be like, this is capital I is the answer.
Yeah, we know for a fact that after she crashed her airplane, the reason why she can't walk is because of her brain.
It's like, who checked her spine?
Yeah.
Somebody should check like her nerve endings. So anyway, I was like, okay, what happened to the Road Dimension? Episode answers it right after that. Cut to the Vyram Dimension. They're watching on a TV the Road Dimension in a separate dimension, like healing himself. And Radige's like, he's healing. Yes. My plan. And I guess this is the episode where literally all the Vyram decide to go after the Jetman because Gray starts loading his gun. Tran is going to do something later. And Marie is going to do something later. It's just like, oh, we're all okay.
It's everybody except for the big one. And we know why, because of the next episode, so.
Yes.
Gray's upset,
so,
bro.
Ryu and Kaori in the previous scene had this whole conversation about her getting back out there, and Ryu cannot stop saying, like, true warrior. Like, you are a true warrior. We have to get back out there. And it's like, what? And this is, you can call this, like, characterization or character development, or you can call it lazy writing. Last week, Kaori was all like, I am a lady. I'm not a warrior. Do not put me in a plane.
Mhm.
And at the start of this week's episode, she's like, I am a warrior. Put me in the plane, even though I'm paralyzed.
Yeah,
I can fly it.
And they do, bro. That's the crazy part.
They do. She's
No,
she's
okay.
a paraplegic, and they're like, you have to try at least once. She's like, let me in there.
The real thing is she gets in the plane, and they're flying them fine. And then Ryu over the radio, they're trying to combine the jets. Ryu over the radio is like, Kaori, put your foot on the pedal to combine. And I was like, who decided this? Okay, and then this is the real kicker. In the next episode, we will find out they do not all need to be flying the jets for the jets to combine.
Yeah.
This is
So why is it?
And
Why does it matter that she can't fly it?
yeah, and we find out that like later on, I think in this episode, that they don't even have to be next to each other to morph. It's like this could have been this could have been utilized before this moment right now. Like
this is easily Ryu's worst episode. Like
true.
He sucks in this episode. You have to be
No,
a true warrior.
Everybody pissed me off this episode. So they can't combine, and Kaori, feeling sorry for herself, just like goes to the train tracks to sulk, and then all four of the other Jetmen run up and just watch her from behind the tree. And this must be a cultural thing. Like I am gonna sit here and be like, this is like, we're Americans and this is the Japanese culture.
Yeah.
Because like the position of the show is that Ryu is the good guy and that guy is the bad guy. I think.
Mhm.
Like in the writing team. And the Ryu's position on the Kaori situation in this episode is we have to let her figure it out for herself. She has to get better by herself. And the position of Guy is I'm gonna help her get better. Right? And it's like, if this was an American show, either these two things would be switched, or there'd be maybe a little more nuance to like Ryu's position.
Though the reason why Guy wants to help her is just because he wants to crack. So
This is
like
true.
it's not like
was-
this
that is
like it's not like this saint like I am gonna help
No,
this
he's not
paralyzed
noble.
woman because she's paralyzed. It's like I want to have sex with this paralyzed woman.
Well, yeah, like
Ugh.
Kaori is like getting no help from either side, really, because all Guy is doing is he's doing it so he can have sex with her. And the review is like, you just gotta get up, man. Like, you just gotta get back on that saddle. You just gotta get back in that wheelchair. And because like she falls out of her wheelchair because she tries to stand by herself, and then the wheelchair falls down a hill, and then
Yep.
she's on the ground, and she's like, and Guy's like, what? And then Ryu's like, no, don't go help her. And then Guy's like, what are you doing? And then he goes and tries to help her, and Ryu's like, Kaori, you just have to do it. You have to have a true warrior spirit, or whatever he says. This is not helpful on either side. And I get like the message is probably like, whenever like you're down on your luck, or like whenever things are getting bad, you just have to get back up again. I'm sure that's the intended,
I think that is
message.
the message of the episode.
but she is paralyzed.
Yeah.
She is
Right.
paralyzed.
It's a little different. Like
And it's
Yeah.
and it's like that is the message, but at the same time, it's like you have to do it. You have to get back up again all by yourself. You cannot seek help from your
Yeah.
friends or family. That
No.
nobody should do that. You gotta get yourself back up by your own bootstraps. It's like it's a good message, but also like not perfect for sure.
No.
show for children, by the way.
Truk.
So we cut back to the Vyram dimension at this point, or I think it's at this point. It's just Gray, the robot guy, sitting down by himself listening to records and loading his gun.
He's so tough, and he's like sipping like wine or whiskey or something, and he's chiefing that hoe, bro. He's got a ciggy in his mouth, and he's listening
And,
to
like,
like jazz. He's so cool.
Yeah. And what is like the thing that is connected to the vinyl record that plays out the music
With
or
the
whatever?
big horn. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about, yeah.
He in that shot, like the transition shot, it's like it looks like he's walking out of it because he walks like upside down. He walks like from a bunch of different angles. It looks like he's walking out of that, and I was like, this is kind of tough.
That was a cool shot, though. Yeah.
It was cool.
I liked it a lot.
So
And
anyway,
wasn't Tron also like, I'm gonna go get the Jetman
yeah,
right now?
Tron-
Oh, and he
Something.
sharpens his gun, and it looks like his Robo Wiener. Forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
That's-
or he's
yeah,
like polishing it or something. I have no
he's
idea. what
cleaning
he
it.
is. Yeah.
So anyway, Guy shows up at the Jetman, starts shooting at them. Sorry, not Guy. Gray. All these characters have the same name. Gray shows up, starts shooting at the Jetman. Guy is like, I gotta get Kaori out of here. Races her across the train tracks. They get stuck on the train tracks. I'm like, there's no better way to get her across. He's just like keeps trying to push it, and it's like, and then a train starts coming. He manages to get her over. The other Jetmen are like, we gotta go help her. They get caught by Tran, who starts building several like brick walls around them, and then shooting spears into them.
Yeah.
And Tran has too many powers. Like the little power glove he wears. Like
I've mentioned it before.
He might be the strongest one.
I've mentioned it before, but with like the comparison to Hellraiser, but that shot specifically was very Hellraiser-esque because a big thing in Hellraiser is like Pinhead shoots like these chains out, and the chains hook onto people, and then in that shot it was like the brick wall, and then he shot like the, I don't know what you would even call it, like those swords or whatever that he shot out.
I think they were spears.
Or spears, that latch onto the, and it was like shot in the exact same way. So I'm sure there's some sort of like, they probably used some.
When was the first Hellraiser?
Like 87, I think, 86.
So
then, I could see there being some overlap for sure. So yeah, Akko, Ryu, and the other two Jetmen that nobody cares about get trapped in there, and then somebody morphs, not all five of them, and Ryu gets them out of there, and all three of them are morphed. This is like, it was never said in the show that they needed to all be together to morph, but every time they morph, it's all five of them, or
we need to be together,
and that's used as like
the same problem with
dramatization, where it's like
one
of them separated from the rest of the group, and they're being jumped by the bad guys, and it's like, transform. Oh, they can't transform because they're not all together. That's like the assumption. And then you get to this episode and it's like, oh, they could have just done it the entire time.
It's the same problem next episode. They have
next episode.
It's the same problem.
Even worse, actually.
Yeah, it's even worse.
Like you literally did this last episode. Like I don't understand what's going on.
It's like I said, it was never explicitly said, but it is made implicit by the characters' actions in the show. So if somebody was watching the show and was like, wait, I thought they needed to all be together, I would not blame them for thinking that. So Ryu starts fighting Tran, and obviously Ryu cannot like kill this child. So like Tran just puts the moves on him, like he's like teleporting out of every like shot and like all these things, and then he flies up into the air and uses his power glove to take control of a car, and the car starts barreling into the three Jetmen. I thought that was really
fun. That was funny.
Not safe, but funny.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I made a joke where I was like, they're like, the stunt guy behind the camera was like, we need to have a car stunt in this episode, and we're gonna do it somehow.
We gotta get one.
Let's just have Tran drive a car with his mind in this fight
with his power glove.
Yeah.
So Guy and Kaori are outrunning Gray. Guy finds a motorcycle. This guy can find a motorcycle anywhere. He rips up the motorcycle, throws it into Gray. It explodes. Gray stands up, and it's like the Terminator, like walking through the fire. It was really cool.
At first, it was like he lost a ton of aura because he just got hit by the bike and fell down, and it was like, oh, he's dead. And then he walks out, bro.
Or a recovery.
The problem now is the show yet again does the thing where we don't know how to transition from that scene to the next scene, so we're just gonna cut to the characters in the next scene and not explain it.
He was also didn't he end up smoking one after he got out of the explosion?
Yes. Dude. It cuts to Kaori and Guy in a like a warehouse, and Guy's like jacked up his hand from fighting Gray, and it's all bleeding and everything. And Kaori's just like, "Ugh, you're such a baby." Starts wrapping his hand up, and she's like, Ryu is like really cool and stuff. And Guy is like, I don't care about Ryu. I'm trying to sleep with you.
like literally, not even a joke. That is how hard he is coming on to her at that part. Like he's literally like, you like Guy, but I want to have sex with you. It's like, okay, all right.
I saved you from the train that I put you in place.
It's like to the point of uncomfortability, to be honest, for a lot of these scenes.
Oh yeah,
we'll talk about it after the recap because I have a lot to say about that.
Also, the big problem here is, we'll find out later this episode, Ryu's mind is definitely not on Kaori at all. We'll learn that later. It's not on her mind at all. At all.
Ryu is like the Captain America type. Like, he's not trying to date anybody on the team. Like, they have a mission, right? And so, like, for Kaori to think that... For Guy to think that Kaori is into Ryu implies that he thinks like at some point they're going to get together, and I just don't at this point in the show see that happening with these characters.
Yeah.
But whatever. So Gray comes through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, and starts fighting them again. Cut to the quarry. Ryu morphed is like riding on the top of this car, and then Tran throws the car off the side of a cliff. Ryu jumps off the cliff as the car explodes behind him. That was tough.
That was good. That was a good shot.
That was
quarry fight. Maria shows up, who's like another one of the Vibram generals. She's the girl one. She demorphs everybody as Guy and Kaori arrive, and then opens a crack, like a crevice in the earth that's about to swallow Kaori whole. Ryu grabs her. Maria grabs Ryu by the neck, and he's looking up at her, and he's like, "Wait, is that Rie?" Because they're played by the same actress.
Holy crap! Yeah. And none of us noticed till this episode.
So I knew, but I was trying to keep a lid on it.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted the show to present that. Mainly because I did not know when it was going to come up, and I didn't want to spoil it if it was like episode 30.
Yeah, it was like the biggest plot point in the entire show.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's like, it's my girlfriend who died in space, and then Kaori is looking up at Ryu, who's looking up at Maria, and she's like, I have to do it for Ryu, and then she jumps out of the crevice, flips over Maria, kicks her across the face 3 times, or they show it 3 times.
Yeah, they replay it a lot. Do it next episode too.
They all morph. They do their first roll call. I think there might have been a roll call.
There was,
episode, but I don't think
it was.
So.
Yeah.
Not a full roll call. They did the pose, but I don't think they said like Red Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think they did all that. It was cool though. The theme song started playing. They start fighting. Fight. Blah blah blah. I really hate to do that. I hate to be like, oh, they fight. Like, but that is like, what do you want me to?
Megazord
to explain everything in the fight scene?
Yeah, they don't really like switch it up ever. Really, it's like, oh, they have the roll call, the grunts come in, they do a few like harsh cuts to punches, and then it's over after like 30 seconds.
It's all very impressive, but it's like you could just go watch it. If there was another moment, like a guy grabbing somebody's penis moment, then I'd say.
Or like in the next episode where they fight in a different area, or like a very zany area where you can kind of explain more about that.
Yeah. It's like George Lucas writing the Star Wars prequels, right? Like there's a lot of they fight.
Yeah.
The road dimension returns.
He's back
from his slumber.
Somehow the road dimension returned. We're bringing this back to another Star Wars reference.
Heroes giant size. They're like, shoot, we gotta use the Zords. Summon the Zords. I thought for sure we were gonna get the Megazord this week.
Yeah.
I thought for sure. I was like, road dimension's back. They couldn't beat them before. They're a team now.
They gotta one-up it, bro. Like, they gotta do something different.
In the base, the commander is like, combine Icarus Hawken, and then I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, this has an alternate mode. All the jets combine into one really big jet, and they just fly through the road dimension and kill them that way. This is a thing in a lot of Sentai where it's like, the Megazord has an alternate mode. I would not be surprised if we only see this thing one more time, like at best. Like,
it's funny because I feel like the scale of the big ship is nowhere near the scale of the Megazord, so it's like kind of awkward. Like, I guess.
So they blow up road dimension.
No,
oh my god.
Genuinely has the largest kill count.
Top 3 design in the show, though.
True.
So far. So the Jetmen are gathered after the battle, and Ryu's like, "Good job, Kaori. You're a true warrior." And Guy's like, "Well, why don't you just sleep with him?" Like, blah 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 blah. Walks off.
Bro, you're ruining the movie.
Also, Raita is like, man, Kaori, it's a good thing that your legs are working again. I'm really happy for you. And then she kicks him in the balls.
Dude, it's like they hate him, bro, and nobody knows why. He's just a punching bag. It doesn't even have an episode about him yet either. They're just like, we'll just kick him in the balls again. You know, we'll make
They're
him
like, well, he's the slightly larger BMI guy. So what?
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's okay. There's a lot of things where it sucks to be either Raita or Akko on this show, and it's like if you're Raita or Akko, you're not involved in the love triangle that's slowly developing, right, on the main team. And also, you're a girl on a Sentai team, or you're the overweight, nerdy guy on the Sentai team. And so it's like, just for that, I feel bad for them because it's like they have nothing to do, and the show is not forgiving, like, in that. They are there to fill space in the team lineup.
Yeah, they're there to be like, another color in the group.
Yeah,
you know?
Like it's like, well, I noticed like in the next episode, which I don't want to go fully into, but like whenever Akko is on screen, it feels like they strangely cut away really quickly with her. I don't know for what reason or whatever, but a lot of her voice lines get cut off really quickly. Or like when they're readying up for the Zords stuff, like her sequence is cut short. It's really weird. I don't know
she's
if
also
there's
always,
something up with that, but
she's always last to say something. And traditionally in a Sentai like team, it would be like, okay, red says something, black says something, blue, yellow, pink. But because blue is a girl on this team, it's like red, black, yellow, white, pink, blue. Like, why is this the situation? Anyway, in the Vyram dimension, Radiguet is like, next time they will know my true power. He's got vampire teeth. And then it cuts to a reflection of him in a record, and he turns into like an evil bat monkey man.
Yeah, he's kind of kind of awesome, to be honest, but
it is a little awesome.
It's kind of tough.
Okay, I want to talk about Guy before we get to the next episode because I have like real world information that will affect the rest of the show.
Oh, that's not a good sign, I don't think, with what occurred in this episode.
So,
yo,
as we have previously discussed, Jetman was going to be the last season of Super Sentai. It was going to end at this point. But then the show aired, and it was so popular, they decided to renew it for another season. Part of that popularity and the reason behind its renewal is a lot of Japanese moms who were at home all day, were hanging out with their kids all the time, were really invested in the Guy Kaori plot.
No way.
They really loved the like sexual assault plot that was going on between the princess and the bad boy.
Yes. It is. Okay, well, because on paper, right, it's like, oh, this is an engaging story for people who like romance plots, right? Like, it's like, oh, the bad boy and like the girl from the rich erudite society, and like, you know, they'll find each other and blah blah blah. And then there's like the Captain America guy. Like, how many books at Barnes and Noble are the plot of that?
Yeah, like it's a very like safe, you know, thing to do with this.
It's just like
there's more nuance to these characters than that. Where like Guy is like a bad guy, like capital D, capital G, bad guy.
Yeah, and
like Ryu has this whole thing with his dead girlfriend, fiance, like
I don't resurrected. I don't like mind control.
I don't know.
It's kind of like
the Rie dimension.
Opera,
yeah, it is.
Right, where it's like just like this. You thought this person was dead, but now they're back, and you know what's going on with their lover.
The Young and the Restless, bro, except in Japan.
Yeah. Which, like, for me at least, the Young and the Restless, but with superheroes, way better than the Young and the Restless.
You know what? That's true. The Young and the Restless with a Megazord is like 10 times better than just the Young and the Restless.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, so that's like the real world information. So going forward, watch the Guy plot like unfold and just remember like the moms was loving this
they would love in this plot, bro.
They gonna love this.
I thought you were gonna say something much worse about
like actual sexual
about the
harassment
actor
or whatever.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when you said that, but I'm glad.
Okay, he actually I think he's the person who's come back from this show the most
Hmm.
in like future Sentai seasons, and by the most, I mean he's the only one who's come back, and he's only come back the one time. He appears in the Jetman episode of Gokaiger, which is like the 35th anniversary, and so there's like
Oh, okay.
all these actors came back for Gokaiger, but he is like the one that they got back from this season.
Okay.
So, does anybody have anything else they want to say about episode 5 before we move on?
No, we gotta get to the next one.
I mean, it was, without getting too deep into it, I think it was probably like one of the worst episodes so far.
Interesting.
For me, I don't know. I just thought like I said, the stuff with Guy and Kaori is like really weird. But it is like a a time thing, you know, like back then, stuff like that. I could watch an American film and it would have a lot of weird stuff like that in it as well. It's not just because of this, but yeah. That, and then like a lot of the action was kind of less, it was like a rehash of everything we've seen so far, but it wasn't bad, I wouldn't say, but it wasn't the best.
They were really trying to step it up by giving us all the generals like in this episode. And you would think that would make for some engaging fights. And I think the fight with Tran is really interesting.
Yeah, with the walls and stuff. Yeah.
But then they probably like ran out of money or whatever. And I think the strong suit of this show in terms of fighting is not like, oh, really impressive effects, because like every time Tran teleports, they just cut away. Like, yeah. Right? Like, like the really impressive thing is the fight choreography, and there's not a lot of that in this episode, unfortunately.
And they ruined Gray. All right, he showed up for like a minute, and he was pretty stupid for most of it.
It almost
angered me. So.
Nothing.
So I want you to remember that Gray, before this, he had 2 scenes, and both of them were just of him sitting.
I don't care, bro. And they were the 2 coolest scenes of the show.
He was mysterious, and now he's like a dumb guy.
He will be back, bro.
He also somehow let Guy and a paraplegic woman get away. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
If I was an evil monster, I'm climbing her out, bro.
It was because the road dimension was like causing these earthquakes that allowed him to get away. But I didn't mention that because it wasn't really that important.
Yeah.
True.
All right, episode 6. Get Angry Robo.
Yes.
Okay, I'm staking my claim. Maybe my favorite episode so far.
What?
Yes, and I will get into it as we get into the recap and all this stuff. Okay, so it opens with them training with the jet machines again, which is just like 3rd episode in a row, which is not good for me saying like this is my favorite episode, but like,
and it like specifically opens with the same shot of Ryu in the cockpit of his jet machine. It's like, yeah, bro, yeah.
They're training.
They only have so much of a budget.
Combine the jet machines into, hang on, I have it right here. Jet Icarus. But then they can't. So because of Guy, they're like, Guy, you need to work together as a team, and Guy's like, I'm not working together as a team.
I'm a bad boy.
So Guy leaves. Kaori goes after him. They're hanging out. Guy's like, I'm gonna make you fall in love with me, and Kaori's like, what? And he's like, you are going to fall in love with me, and she's like, I don't think so. And he's like, well, then I'm going to go date some other woman. And he turns to their waitress, and he's like, me, we're getting out of here. Before this, by the way, like the other start of the episode, because these episodes have 2 starts, it's just this woman in this apartment building. She's listening to her music. And then you see all the, like, Vyram Dimensional Beast, like, veins and everything. And I was like, oh, we're getting a... Like, we were all like, music-based monster.
Yeah,
awesome.
Music
this
monster.
Would have been cool.
Wrong.
Nope.
Hentai tentacles shoot out of the walls and start grabbing this
penises.
woman.
Yep. And you know, even the funny part is, even the like mouth that comes out of the wall, it kind of also looks like another.
Like there's genital connotations to everything.
Everything that's going on with this monster is very phallic.
Maybe there are more references to Hellraiser than we thought.
All true. True. It's true.
True.
So the monster, which I'm just gonna say now, is House Dimension. Is basically
in an apartment complex
that like eats people. Guy is taking the waitress on a date. She's like, we have to go back to my place so I can change for our date. And I was like, all right, bro.
Where's
like,
her place? Oh.
I know you have to say that she's getting changed because this is a kid show. If this was on any other network, they'd be like, we have to go back to my place so we can bang it out. Like,
so we can bump uglies, bro.
They pull up to the apartment complex. They go inside. The house dimension eats this woman. It goes to eat Guy. He calls for backup. Cut to outside. Ryu is in a go-kart, like racing down the road, being like, I'm on my way, Guy. Akko was on a motorcycle, and then Kaori and Raita are in a truck. How many dang vehicles does this team need? Like,
okay, the truck is cool, okay, but the go-kart is weird.
I disagree about
the truck is kind of just like a Ford F-150 or like a Chevrolet, like it's...
Yeah, but with a turret on the top of it.
Okay. You can find any of those in America, bro. In the United States of America, you can find a truck with a gun on the back.
I'm just saying, in future seasons, they will figure out, like, okay, these need to be consolidated. It all needs to be one thing. Mm-hmm. I don't like that there's 3 different things, like, right? Like, if they're a team, at the very least, there should be a reason, right? Like, I'll forgive the truck because it's got a gun on top, right? And it's like, okay, heavy artillery. Mm-hmm. Does Ryu really need the go-kart? Does Akko need a motorcycle?
Well, doesn't the truck only have 2 seats in it?
Yeah, it
2
does.
seats and then a gunner seat.
Yeah, it's like, what?
So Ryu didn't need the go-kart.
Yeah, he could have just been on the gun.
He could have just, or he could have stayed in, like, the trunk is still open. Like, there's still enough space.
Right. Yeah.
Like, the gunner chair doesn't take up that much space.
So anyway, Ryu pulls up to the apartment complex first. He finds Guy. By the way, Ryu has, like, maybe 17 lines in this episode, and about 14 of them are, Guy!
Or, why are you doing this?
Ryu breaks into the apartment, saves Guy. The dimension eats him. Or no, they're about to leave. Some ghostly figure hand grabs Ryu and takes him into a secondary dimension. And all the Jetmen are like, Guy, where's Ryu? And he's like, what? Huh?
No.
Like, turns around. He's not there. Ryu has been taken inside the house dimension, and he has to 1v1 Count Radiguet, which, like, this is kind of great, because if Radiguet, like, we're being led to believe Radiguet is the final villain of the show, or at the very least, one of the final villains, right? It could be any one of the 4, but at this position, he's the most likely, in my mind, just because he's had the most to do.
Yeah.
And so, like, to be, like, in episode 6, like, you're gonna fight the main villain is, like, kind of cool. He doesn't morph, even though we've established they don't need each other to be there to morph. So
well, he does eventually, but it takes him like 5 minutes of fighting.
Yes.
Yeah, the guy that appears to be the main villain, like it.
Yep. They get tossed out of the house dimension, and then the house dimension stands up, and it's just like a man with an apartment complex building on top, and he's got a sickle and a mace.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. They kind of ran out of ideas for him, I think.
Oh, for sure.
This whole part was like the part where I was like, this might be my favorite episode, because it set up a challenge where, well, first of all, it had like a bunch of character stuff at the start, right? And then it set up this challenge where the tension between Guy and Ryu needed to be resolved, or at the least, like, there needed to be a truce in that in order for them to save the day. And it set up a challenge where the monster was not just something you could, like, blow up, because they're like, we can't blow it up because Ryu is inside, right? And so it sets up, like, all these things in a very economic way where I was like, oh, this is like real TV. Like, and like I said, I think having Ryu fight Count Radiguet, and we'll get to Ryu, like, their conversation in a little bit, but, like, just all these elements came together for what I think maybe not the strongest episode of the show so far, but probably, like, this is a rewatchable one. Like, if I was gonna sit down and rewatch the show again, this is probably one I would rewatch.
One of the more better written episodes, I'd say.
So, they contact the commander, and they're like, we need the jet machines, but we don't have Ryu. And the commander's like, oh, you don't need to form the Megazord.
Do it anyway.
Go into autopilot.
Sure, like the last 3 episodes have been about none of these people being in sync to form the Megazord. Yeah. By the way, and so,
well,
this whole thing about, like,
I love how Kaori gets paralyzed, and then the very next thing they're like, "You're still gonna fly the ship, but you have to use your foot to press this pedal to do this thing." Next episode, they're like, "Bro, it's autopilot, bro. Just flip the switch on above your head, and you're all good." It's like, dude,
all these episodes were written by the same guy. By the way.
Yeah.
Especially, you had something you wanted to say.
I mean, it's just like the fact that they have this whole thing. I don't even like. It has to be just on the fact of like, we need to operate as a team fully. But it's like, if we have all these parameters where it's like, we can go on autopilot, we can all morph when we're all not together. What do we need Guy for if he's just going to be a jerk to everybody all the time?
That's
and sexually harass people. What's the point of having him here if he doesn't want to be here? Especially, we needed to spend like 2 episodes trying to get him here. And all of a sudden, well, you can do all these things without everybody being there. Then there's no point of actually getting Guy. There's no point.
Yeah.
Because it can operate fully on its own.
You're totally right. Like the in Power Rangers Time Force, they require there's 4 Rangers because one of them died in the first episode. But they don't have the ability to, I'm trying not to spoil the show, but they don't have the ability to unlock the morphers. And so they need to find a 5th person who can unlock the morpher for them. And it's like, okay, like you had to find a 5th guy. We were never given a reason like that for Guy. It was just like, he's also a Jetman. He must join the team. And it's like, this guy, like,
it was
really,
just
like,
the implication that they couldn't morph into their, their suits.
He also,
and now they're just proving, like, more and more like they really don't need him.
Mm-hmm.
He genuinely adds nothing to the team. Like, when you have these, like, episodes with teams where it's like, oh, this person's going away, it doesn't have to be, oh, our powers don't work. Sometimes it's just like, well, we can't operate without you because you're such a vital part of the team. Guy doesn't contribute anything to the team.
Well,
besides,
he doesn't, I mean, I feel like he has proven to be, like, the second most capable, like, when they're fighting, but also, like...
That's what I was going to say.
But also, like, he doesn't... It's true that he probably hurts the team more than he helps them if you're, like, in the show, if you're, like, a character in the show. But from, like, a writing standpoint, you need Guy for a lot of the dynamics. Right. But you're still right in that just because you need him to be there doesn't mean that you get to just throw him in there without a reason to keep him around, right? So they have to do something to be like, yeah, we need him around. And that was that you couldn't morph or you couldn't be full power together. But now that they're kind of getting rid of all these things, it's like you need to reintroduce something within the next few episodes to be the reason why they're keeping him around.
Well, and maybe before the problem was like Guy didn't want to be on the team, but they needed him on the team. Maybe we're slowly transitioning into a thing where because he wants to be with Kaori, or he wants to sleep with her, he wants to be on the team, but the rest of them really don't like him, and so they're trying to like force him out. Like that could be a fun dynamic too, right? Like,
he has to prove himself.
But I don't know.
But that would require Raita and Akko to have screen time. I don't think that's gonna happen.
don't
I would love this statement to age like milk, but I don't think it's happening.
Do not say that. So they formed the Megazord rather, in my opinion, unceremoniously.
Yeah.
It's a great looking mech though. I love the look. It's got kind of this like big like wing bird thing going on the upper chest. I think it's really cool.
And it has like their names around it too. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Condor.
They go to fight the House Dimension. They're getting beat up. And it was in this moment where I said, they're going to need Ryu, and they're going to say, we need Ryu to be at full power. And not 2 minutes later, Raita goes, we need Ryu to be at full power. And I was like, I knew it! So Guy makes the executive decision. He's like, I'm splitting the mech up. They separate into their constituent parts. He jumps out of his Condor, flies up, transforms, flies into the building as Ryu is fighting Count Radiguet. Ryu has this whole speech with Radiguet where Radiguet, he's like, why do you hate humanity so much? And Radiguet's like, I hate all evil things, transforms into his monster's form.
Oh, he hates all ugly things, not evil. He hates
all ugly things, thank you. And he's like, and humans are stupid and they suck and blah, 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 blah. And I think, again, we're sort of digging into the theme of the show where it's like, very, like, all the villains are very anti-humanity and all the heroes are very pro. Because Ryu has this whole thing where he's like, humanity has so much potential, and like together we can forge a brighter future, and blah 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 blah.
It's very Superman.
And they low-key,
true,
yeah, and they have a really great fight. I think, at least in this inside the dimension, which I didn't explain, is like this one apartment complex like room that they've put a bunch of sheets on.
Yeah.
And then they have
Yeah.
various like lights on the ground of various colors that make it like sort of this miasma.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a cool use of space.
Yeah, it was one of the cooler sets, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, Guy comes in. They both use the wing gauntlet. They shoot Radiguet. If it's that easy, like just all of you line up in firing squad like that guy. But sure, like
they're having this like heated battle 1-on-1 for like the whole episode. Guy pulls up for half a second. He's like, "Let's just shoot him with our guns that we have," and it's like, okay, and he's done.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy.
They fly out of the house dimension, form the Megazord again. It's at full power. Megazord, by the way, has too many weapons. It has a spear and then rocket fists and then a sword.
Yeah,
that's one too many.
It's
you
like
got to pick one to get rid of.
Or at least like don't show me all of them the first time you see the Zord, right? Like you could spread this out across a few different episodes.
Right. We're presumably going to see this every episode for the next 45 episodes.
Yeah.
It's starting to sink in, dude. Oh my gosh. 45 episodes. It's starting to sink in. Like, oh boy.
You get 45 more episodes of Guy being rapey, bro. Get ready, dog. It's over for you.
It's actually so over.
Anyway, they do the thing that I really hate on all Sentai and Power Ranger shows where they have an instant kill button, and it's like, use the sword, blow them up.
Yeah.
Why don't you just start with that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
They had the fist in first,
the sword,
dude.
I guess. They use the sword, they blow them up. Cut to Commander Aya and all the others being like, they have champagne and like they're celebrating and all these things. And then Guy and Ryu are like, we have mutual respect for each other. And I was like, what? Like, I guess, sure.
Like, sure.
Cut to the Vyram base again. Radiguet got his ass handed to him, and all the other Vyram are like, lock in, Radiguet. Bro thought he was hot.
He like stumbles in, falls to the ground. They're like, you're pathetic.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the count of the Vyram dimension. Gray didn't care though. He was just polishing his gun.
Bro, he don't talk.
Really
He has aura.
I do really like that they all have a rivalry with each other, and that there's a goal in their rivalry of like whoever kills the Jetman first is the leader.
Yeah.
It'd be really easy to just be like, these are our 4 villains, and they all kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
But to give them like a unique like character dynamic was really cool.
Yeah, and it's cool like how there isn't. At first, you think that there's like an established like leader because that's how they posit Radiguet to be for like all 5 other episodes, and then this one, he loses. And I have my gripes with how he loses, but it is cool that it's like now it's like they're all working together. There's not one leader, and I feel like I haven't seen a lot of these shows, obviously, but I feel like in most of them, it's like there's one big guy, and he's the big guy for the whole series, and he has little guys. But this one has like a few people who are kind of vying for the big guy position.
Yeah, Vyram.
Oh,
I will say though, unfortunately, like. This episode's like stinks of like we don't know in what order these are going to air in because not one point this is not a Ryu focused episode, but he does have like big moments in it. At no point does he mention Maria might be Rie.
Yeah,
like, and that was last week.
Literally last
from
week.
The perspective of the people watching the show. I understand. I totally understand the thing of like. It was 1991. You don't know if you're going to catch the episode or not. Yeah. You want there to be enough of a show that people who missed the last episode can still enjoy this episode, and blah, 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 or don't remember or whatever. If you're going to do that, do not commit to a serialized story.
Yeah.
Right.
Or do what comic books do, or what this show has done before, where it's like really quick recap of last episode.
Yeah.
Just through dialogue of being like, I can't believe that Maria and Rie might be the same person. Like, just give us something.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
All right, let's get to the rating. Let's talk about it. Episode 5 rating, fall for me. Sebastian, why don't you start us off?
This is definitely not one of my favorite episodes that we've watched. Because the thing is I was really because I like the Kaori episode so much. I was really excited to see the conclusion to that, and obviously, like, we have to see her after the plane crashes. But everything else after that is like I already mentioned it. Ryu is not helpful whatsoever, and he's supposed to be like the instrument or the tool to convey the message of sometimes you need to get up by yourself. It doesn't work in this context because she's a paraplegic woman. I don't think it's exactly useful. And they try to make Guy the bad guy, which I mean he's a bad guy, bad guy, but like
that's why they named him that.
But like, there's like he does technically the right thing of trying to help out Kaori, but ultimately, it's like, but I want to sleep with you so bad. Guy is not like Guy doesn't have to be a good guy for me to like him, right? Because I like the Vyram a lot. I actually like them a lot. I don't like Guy. Guy is not a good character in my opinion because, like, obviously he's used to drive conflict a lot of the time, which is fine, but I don't like a character who's supposed to drive conflict with no redeemable traits, at least in my opinion. He's not very entertaining most of the time, besides the fact I can laugh at how creepy he is. But that's not
we get to laugh.
Yeah, we get to laugh.
They might be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
they get to hear
I get to laugh.
They hear the recap and they're like, this sounds like the worst character put to television ever.
Like,
too real.
Like one of the, and it was one of the lines where all of us were like, all right, bro, calm down. I don't even remember what episode it was, but he was like, I will make you fall in love with me.
I think that was
episode 5. Gross. That's gross. And so, like, I don't have.
But the Japanese moms were like, they was loving that though. That's the thing, dude.
And like,
I don't know that they were loving it because they loved him. I think they were just loving it because it's drama.
Yeah,
right?
It's a drama.
But, yeah,
but like, he takes up so much of these episodes. Like, he feels like more of a main character than Ryu does most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because these 2 episodes, Ryu didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
So he takes up a majority of these episodes, and he's not entertaining to me. And, maybe we could have given that to someone Raita and Akko, but we decided not to. Like, we want to give the sexual harassment guy, like, some more screen time. But that was a whole lot about Guy. But, like, Kaori, like, this should have been more of Kaori's episode. But it really doesn't feel like her episode.
Mm-hmm.
It really feels like a whole lot just, like, happens because, like, the Vyram show up and then they fight. But Kaori doesn't have, like, a good cap to her arc, in my opinion. Because, like, sure, her legs move again.
My freaking dog.
The problem with Kaori is, like, after she gets her legs back, there's no, like, big statement, like, no big thing. She just goes.
Right.
She just puts up a peace sign.
Yep.
No,
There's nothing interesting about that. That's not a cap to her arc. That's just, like, ending it. It's not a cap.
I'm just thinking
It's
about,
just
like,
ending it.
a person in real life who's paralyzed from the waist down after, like, 20 years, and then they, like, miraculously get their legs back, and they just throw up the peace sign. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be tough. Wait.
What? You can walk again. Like, that's not interesting to me. And, this is partially the next episode's fault. But again, like, Rie, like, she's alive, apparently. It might be her. We don't know yet. But it looks like her. And that's an interesting thing for Ryu to have as a conflict, because he's like, well, one of the Vyram might be my girlfriend who I lost in space. Mm-hmm. But next episode, they don't even do anything with that. This is honestly, like Bobby said, this is probably my least favorite episode.
Interesting.
I did not like it that much.
What are you giving it out of 10, bro?
Despite
a full rant ready.
Yeah. Despite, like, my very strong feelings towards this episode, I'll give it a 5. Because I still liked a lot of the action. Like, all the car stuff was cool. Like, all of like, most of the action was good up until the end. Like, I thought it was pretty good. And, like, the final fight with Road Dimension, where it's like the Phoenix comes in and it just goes through him, is pretty cool. But in terms of character stuff, I really didn't like it, and I think it sets a really bad precedent for where I think the rest of this show is going. So,
I'll say this: there's a reason I picked this show out of like all the Sentai shows we could have done, and it was because I was like, this is gonna be the most content. Like, Bobby, what'd you think?
There you go. There's your content.
I mean, I largely I agree with Sebastian. I mean, I do think it's one of the worst episodes so far. I agree with most all of his criticisms, but I think one thing that the episode has going for it, at least, is that I like things do happen that pertain to the story and what's happening overall. So, like, I don't think I'm not gonna give it. I think I'll probably give it a 6 because I think the lowest I've given so far is a 6, and I don't think
Yeah.
it's necessarily worse than I don't think it's like absolutely worse than than whatever the like I think it was like episode 2 or 3 that was one of the
Yeah.
lower ones. And that's cuz actual stuff happens, though I do agree like a lot of the character stuff isn't great. I like the fight scenes, and I think the reveal that Ryu's girlfriend was still alive, or I mean we don't know if it's her or not really, but yeah, I think that was kind of early, but it also, it gave it some drama. Like like Sebastian, while we were watching it, he said he didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming, and that gave it a good moment. So I think it definitely had enough good moments, and it pertained enough to the overarching story that I'm not gonna give it a 5 or below, but it's definitely not great. One of the probably bottom 2, bottom 3, but it's not like when I watched it, I still had fun. It wasn't like a slog to get through or anything. So I think 6 is appropriate.
I am at a crossroads where I agree with both of you, like 100%. And so, like, giving my score is so difficult. I think I'm leaning more towards a. I'm leaning more towards a 6. I'm around where Bobby is, and I think it's because, like he said, things actually do happen, which is not a guarantee on this show.
Yeah. Like
No.
there's going to be episodes where like literally nothing occurs for the whole episode, and
Yeah.
it's like we're trying to get to
Exactly.
the next week.
There is 51 episodes in this show. We are bound to have an episode where nothing happens.
Yeah.
So I think I am on Bobby's side. I think I will give it a 6, but I will say I totally understand what Sebastian is saying. And I think my big critique of the episode is it feels bloated, where it's kind of like we have to wrap up everything that Kaori did last episode with her.
Mhm.
We also have decided that this is the episode where we are going to speed run the other 3 Vyram generals that are not Radiguet that we haven't shown off yet. And we are going to fully introduce and commit to this unraveling of the love triangle between Guy, Ryu, and Kaori.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to establish that Maria is potentially Rie, right? And so it's like 4 things are happening.
Yeah.
And we have to kill the road dimension, and we're introducing Icarus Haken.
Yeah.
Like, all these things come together to be like, this is a bloated episode. Like, there's a lot happening. And I think if they had really committed to 1 or 2 of those things, it probably would have been a better episode.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at. But I will give it a 6. All right. Episode 6. Get Angry Robo.
Get Angry Robo.
Bobby, why don't you start us off?
Okay. I definitely liked this episode more than the last one. I thought it was quite good. I thought it was on the better side of the episode so far. We get to see the Zord, which gives it like 2 points for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see the Zord, like it's gonna be a good episode. Yeah, and like I said, I really like the set where Ryu and what's his name? Radagast, is that his name? Radiguet. Is Radagast a Pokemon?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll find out while you talk.
But yeah,
I think you just brought up
I really like the set. I really like that set and where they were fighting and everything. And
Radagast Radagast the Brown is a fictional character in J.R.R. Tolkien's Legendarium. A wizard and associate of Gandalf, he appears briefly in The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion.
Okay, maybe I like subliminally like pulled that from my brain, but
bro just pulled Tolkien out of his library of thoughts.
But yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. I really like the fights, the sets, and it didn't like honestly like with the character stuff again. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad by any means. I don't think like there's nothing that jumped out to me this episode with the character things like in Kaori's episode. I really liked that episode because it was because of Kaori's arc. This one didn't really have that, but it also didn't have something like last episode where it's like Guy was so insufferable that episode to where it ruins it. But this episode, it had a lot of good dynamics. Wasn't great, wasn't bad. It had really really good fights and cool sets. The one big thing that my one big critique is about Radagay, where I agree with Noah where it's cool that we get to see Ryu fight the quote unquote big bad to this point, but also you can't have him lose. He's basically losing the 1v1, losing or stalemating the 1v1 for like the whole episode. Then right when Guy gets introduced to the fight, he just loses. He's in his like big form too. He's in his monster vampire monkey form, and he still loses to just two of them. So it's like, on one hand, I agree that it's cool to see the big bad fight this early. On the other hand, it's like you can't really have him lose that much. But also, maybe he's just not the big bad. You know, like that makes sense at the same time. Like they could introduce somebody else, or one of the other Vyram monsters could become more powerful, right? So I'm kind of waiting to fully criticize it for that. But other than that, it was really good. I'd probably give it an 8.
Okay.
Nice. I would say this is definitely a better episode. I would say a lot of it's pretty good. I think, like Bobby said, like the Riddigate and Ryu stuff is really cool. I think House Dimension is probably, this is not a big thing because like the monster is going to be a monster, right? And I'm going to like the monster no matter what, but it's probably my least favorite monster we've had so far.
Yeah, it felt like there was a lot less creative direction with him, where it's like, he's just going to be a house with a face and give him 2 randomized weapons. We'll put a bunch of weapons on a wheel and spin it, and then that's what he gets.
Yeah, of course. Well, of course, yeah. I think again, like Guy just does not make.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm gonna have to get used to him, right? But he's so unbearable. Like he's so annoying, and I think eventually I'll start to like him a little bit more. But I think they put too much focus on him, and it should have been on Ryu instead, right? Because Ryu is the one who has the big fight with Radagay, and they have these two clashing ideas of like the future of humanity and stuff. I think that stuff was really interesting. But then again, like the whole reason we find out about this house dimension is because Guy wants to clap cheeks, and so he's like, "Well, screw you, Guy.
That was like low key a clever way to do it, though. To be honest, like when they did it, I was like, you know what? Like that's better than just like cutting to another person in the apartment building, right? So
true. Well, they did cut to the old man. Let's not forget.
That's true.
Come on. But again, like that was like another thing for me. It's like like Guy is like, he wants to play hard to get, right? But he genuinely wants to go have sex with a woman that he just met. Like, dog, like that's.
I think the difference is that me and Noah have already accepted our fate with the guy when it pertains to Guy. Like we're already like, this is just gonna be the guy, who he is, and and then Sebastian's just he's not used to.
I'm Ryu, bro. I'm Ryu. There's a better future, dog. There's a better future.
Sebastian thinks he's Superman, and me and Noah are accepting our fate already.
Like Luther odds, bro. But like I think like all the stuff where they're inside the apartment complex is kind of cool, where it's like you see like the giant mouth and it's like pulling people in. I do think that set stuff is cool. I obviously think the stuff with Ryu and Riddigay, like the set there is cool. And I think the Megazord's really awesome, right? I think this has way better action than the last episode. And I think, but I do think like this episode still is not bad. Like I still actually really like this episode. And I'll probably also give it an 8 because I think them continuing with the theme of like, is humanity worth saving is really cool.
I agree with for the most part, where it's like Guy is probably again the worst part of the episode, but also he's not in as much, and I don't think it's as egregious as the other one. So
true.
So again, this is another moment where it's like, I really said at the start of this that like, oh, episode 6, one of my favorite episodes. I am about to tear it, kind of a new one. I do want to make it clear, like, there's a lot I really like about this episode, and a lot of it is more just like on a storytelling level. I really appreciate how economic they are in this episode with like hitting all the beats. I think by episode 6, Akko and Raita should have something to do.
Definitely. That's another big. Yeah, that's another big thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's necessarily a specific critique to this episode, because it's like they could have done it in any of the other episodes, but it's definitely true.
It's the series as a whole.
I really like that they are still sort of seeding this rivalry between Guy and Ryu, and that they have like this moment of truce when they're fighting Radiguet. I thought that was really cool. Like I said, I love that Ryu gets to fight ostensibly the big bad. We don't know for sure, but like as the show is presenting it right now, the big bad. I think the debut of the Megazord is really kind of sad, because in every other season, like this is like, oh my gosh, all these things come together perfectly, and like the first battle of the Megazord is usually a big deal, and in this one it's just like, we're getting our butts handed to us, we need Ryu, and it's like, okay, that's realistic, I guess, like if this was like a real thing, right? But on a storytelling level, after you've been seeding it for 3-4 episodes at this point, like I feel like it maybe should have been a bigger deal. Man, I really like Ryu and Radiguet's conversation, and like Sebastian said, like they have these clashing ideologies that, like, that's just not something that we get in a lot of kids' TV, especially now. Is like two characters with like worldviews, right? Like, which is kind of a funny thing to say.
Like two characters having a debate, like in the middle of the episode.
Yes, and they have very strict worldviews that like affect who they are in the show, right? Like Radiguet sees no point in humanity, and so he's here to conquer it. And Ryu sees all this potential in humanity, and so he's here. It, like we were talking about, it is Superman versus like Lex Luthor or General Zod or like any like, but you know they're Power Rangers also. So a lot of things. So
it's even
like
cooler.
Yeah, I think it's an 8. I do think it's an 8. Mainly because of that stuff with Ryu. I think if the stuff with Ryu and Radiguet was not as strong, I'd probably be at like a 7 or a 6. So I think I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it our highest rated episode.
Yeah, tied for highest, I think. Yeah.
Tied with the Kaori episode.
Is it the first Kaori episode or the first episode?
Yeah, that's the first Kaori episode. I might have given the first episode an 8 as well. I don't remember. But
I think it was I think you gave it a 7 actually.
Okay.
I gave it a 7, I think, as well. So yeah, I think it's between Kaori.
We got to keep like a tally.
Really, what I should have, really, what I'm gonna do, on top of everything else I do for the podcast, is I'll go back and I'll listen to the 2 episodes previously, and I'll make a Google Sheets, and I'll just fill it out as we go. And you'll know how serious I am about it next week when you click on this podcast next week and you see my face. And you see how tired I am. If I'm really tired, I committed to doing it. If I'm not that tired, it was all a bit.
You never heard any of this conversation ever.
No, Will, cut this out.
If I don't do it, I'm just gonna cut it out.
This podcast is doomed.
It's cooked. It's over. How are we gonna get through 45 more episodes of this?
Don't worry about it.
That's the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're listening on the audio version, like, leave a review. I've heard that helps a lot. It's like going on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leaving reviews. Does anybody have anything they'd like to plug?
Gene Shorts channel, baby. New upload pretty soon. All right. Yeah, probably this week. I don't know when we're hearing this. When the audience will be hearing. It
will be the
next Wednesday,
I think. Yeah, it'll be it'll be July 1st is when this episode will drop.
There should be a new video out by then. So, Gene Shorts channel
linked in the description. Sebastian.
I still don't have anything to plug, dude.
We're gonna do this. We're doing this every week, bro. We're doing this every week.
Until I have actually something to plug, no one's gonna ask me to plug.
Here's the funny thing, though, is you're gonna get to plug it once, and then the episode right after that, I'm never gonna ask you.
Yeah, you're never gonna ask me again. I know it's gonna happen.
I also have a YouTube channel. It's linked in the description. That's not this YouTube channel. And I think when this episode goes up, there should be a new video. If it's not there when this episode is up, it will be there the week after. I'm pretty sure. So go watch that, and go hit that like button and that subscribe button. That's it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.